If you've ever tried to stretch a canvas print like this one the traditional way, you know just how hard it can be. I mean, stapling, stretching, folding the corners, it's complicated and it hurts your hands, especially if you have to do this for several prints in a row. But with this way I'm about to show you, it is really easy and they look amazing. And the best part is there is no stapling, no stretching. Very, very simple. Anybody can do this. I have tendonitis in my hands and wrists and I can do this. So I'm just being straight up here. If I can do it, anybody can do this because I'm a real weakling. It all centers around this adhesive strip on the back of these stretcher bars. Now these are the EasyWrappe Pro stretcher bars from Breathing Color. They are very thick. You can see they are 1.75 inches wide. So it gives you a nice thick gallery wrap. They do also make a smaller standard stretcher bar. I've made a video on that. You can check the description if you want to use the smaller stretcher bars. These ones are a little bit more expensive, but why I love these bars is that they come in very big sizes, all the way up to 60 inches. So here is a closer look at my canvas print. And the reason why I'm showing you this, before you can stretch it, you need to have your edges set up right. You can do this in Photoshop. What I did was created a mirrored edge. But ultimately what you want to do is either have a solid color here, like black is very popular, or the mirrored edge. You want it to leave 2 inches on the outside of where your print is. This is so that it can wrap around the stretcher bars, and that will make it look gallery wrapped. Now for the supplies, you will need these corner brackets. There are 4 of them. This helps you install the stretchers on the canvas easily and make sure everything is all squared up. I'm going to show you how to use them here in a minute. And all of these supplies are linked in the description area, so that way if you want to use exactly what I'm using, you can find it all there. Next is a rotary cutter. This one is by Fiskars, and you're going to need a hole punch. This is for sewing. Basically, it is used to poke holes in fabric, like if people are doing quilting, so you can find them on Amazon or in the sewing department at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. You're going to need some bookbinding glue, some U-shaped corner brackets, and some wood slats for the corners. Now most of these things come in a kit from Breathing Color, so you can get it all there. The only things that do not come in the kit are the rotary cutter and the hole punch, because I figured out that those just make the whole process a little bit easier. So what I do is I take these corner brackets and then I place the stretcher bars in them. But what you do first is remove the adhesive strip. Sometimes these come off in pieces and they take a little bit to get off. Sometimes they're easy like that. Now, I do want to make clear here, this is adhesive, but it works really well. My first thought when I used these like about 6 or 7 years ago was that this was going to be really shoddy. It was not going to last. The canvas was going to pop off of there eventually and my customers would be unhappy. But that is not the case. I've had these for years hanging up on the wall and they have not come loose. So what you want to do is match up the slat here with the slat in the corner. But if you also notice there is a vertical slat, it needs to match up with this little piece right there. So basically you want to try not to touch the adhesive too much because it will stick to your skin a lot. But what you want to do is line these up in there, and sometimes you have to jiggle it around a little bit or just push down, and then it will end up falling into place. Now we've got the stretcher bars in all of the corners. So I've got the canvas laying down on the table face up, and I'm going to put this down on top of it, but not with the adhesive side down, with the adhesive side up. It's super important. If you put it with the adhesive side down, it's going to get stuck to the front of your canvas. You do not want that. Line all of this up so it's completely centered up on your canvas. Next, you want to get a Sharpie or pen, whatever you got laying around, and you're going to make some marks on the canvas to delineate the spacing of exactly where this is lined up, because you have it sitting on the front side. If you make little dots on here right at where the corners of the brackets are, right, all the way around. See, I have one right there and one right there, and we do it around the entire canvas. Remove the stretcher, and here's where the hole punch comes in. What you want to do is poke holes through your canvas on all the dots, right, so you can see it on the other side. This is how you don't have to measure everything out. I hate measuring, so I do it this way. If you want to measure everything, you can do it that way, but this will save you lots of time. Next, flip the canvas over And then you can see where all of the little holes poked through. And what I like to do is to further delineate where they're positioned, is to go over them with the Sharpie or pen that you used on the front side. Now you see you've got these little dots all over the back. These dots are where you align the canvas. This way it will be an exact match and it will wrap around there and everything will be lined up right. Because the worst thing that can happen is if you get all this done, you've wrapped your canvas, you turn it over and you realize that the image is like at an angle, like all wonky on there. You don't want that to happen. So that's why you want to use the hole punch, create the dots, and do all of this. Place the stretchers with the adhesive strips face down and line everything up. You want your corners to be lined up right next to the dots, just how you had it on the front. Now take these and push down everywhere. Basically place your hands on the stretchers and put a little weight behind it. Just push down. What you want to do is put your hand on the corner and pop them out. But if they stick, like this one, oh, it did come out. If they don't come out, you can always slide like a butter knife or something under there and pop it out. Done with the brackets, so we set those aside. What I like to do is go around and push on all of this again one more time, because this adhesive is pressure sensitive. So it sticks on there better if you give it a nice amount of pressure. I also want to add in here that I varnished this canvas print prior to doing all of this, and that's why I can move it around on the table and I can bend it around the stretcher bars and it won't scuff the print. So it's really important prior to doing all of this to varnish your canvas. Next up is the rotary cutter. So basically what we do is we cut this area all along here. I'd also like to say to be careful with these rotary cutters. They are really, really sharp. You want to make sure that you don't roll over a finger. Next, we cut the corners. What you want to do is cut the corner off like this, and you leave just a little bit here, right? It's not cut all the way up to the edge. And then what we do is we go right in the middle here and carefully cut down all the way to the canvas. That's not quite enough, so we're going to go a little bit more. You don't want to go into the face of the canvas, but you want to take it as close as you can. And then what we do is we bend these this and press them into the adhesive. And then we cut all of the other sides the same exact way. Now for the glue, it's very easy. You just put a line of it in between where the canvas meets the stretcher bar around all sides. Next up is to take one of these U brackets and stick it in every corner. So you fold the corners up and then you see there's these little slats. So you put your bracket in there. Now what I like to do, the little corner bars that we're going to stick in there, I like to use these to help push down the brackets. It's kind of hard on the fingers if you're pushing on there. Having something hard to get some leverage and push down makes it a whole lot easier. If you notice that one of these pieces is sitting up higher than the other one, all you gotta do is push down on both of them with this corner bracket and it'll help even it all out. So if you come across that, that's kind of a little hack. Because the idea here is that you want everything to be all squared up. If these are all even and squared up on the back, when you have this face down, when you flip it over, and you are ready to hang it on your wall, it's going to also be even when you hang it on there. But we're not quite finished yet. If you notice at this point, your canvas might not be as tight as you want it to be. This one feels pretty good, but we can make it even better by adding in these corner pieces. So what you do is you take the corner pieces and you stick them in here and you just give them a nice little shove and they slide right in there. Here's the canvas print all finished. I love how it turned out. You can see it looks really nice. The stretchers are really thick and the corners are perfectly folded in there. And it was a very simple process. And if you want to learn how to use the standard stretcher bars, watch this video. All right, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.